Real people, real problems, real emotions. That's the premise behind AOL's first long-form video series called Connected.
And today we're joined by the cast of the reality show, Derek Gaines, Jonathan Brooklyn, Rosie Noisy, and Lori Levine. Welcome to Arise 360.
Hey. Welcome.
Hey, guys.
Wow. All right, so you have to tell us, there are tons of reality shows out there, but what's going to set yours apart from all the rest?
Who wants to answer it? I guess I'll answer it. Well, the reason it sets it apart from the rest because it's an actual reality show, because we the ones holding the camera. So that we didn't have time to write scripts. We just had time to live and time to record it.
So you're telling me you don't have all the film crews and all the boom mics and everything?
This is the film crew.
They don't even call it a reality show. They call it a docuseries because there is no crew, there are no lights, there's no one there. They hand us the cameras. We're like this with the cameras.
Wow.
They had to teach us, turn it around. Don't forget, if you're talking to someone, you've got to turn the camera around. Yeah. 10 months of this.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was 10 months of this like for you all, and why did you choose to be a part of this project?
Well, it's kind of weird walking around New York City and people staring at you like, what are they doing?
Right.
Or being in a restaurant and being like, oh, yeah. The
I mean, it's like your life is one big giant selfie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was a really long Instagram video.
Yeah.
But you know, Morgan Spurlock, who was one of the executive producers of the show, who did Super Size Me, he's an Academy Award nominated. We trust him, you know, and a lot of how we got connected to the show, forgive the pun, is through friends of his. So all of a sudden, when Morgan came forward and said, we have this concept, what do you think? You're going to be in a lot more control than you are in these other fake reality shows. It felt right. It felt, especially for someone like me who wants to be in a lot of control of a lot of your life.
Are you type A?
A.
So wait a minute, does that mean if you don't want to show something, yourself crying, we saw some emotions in that clip, you just turn the camera off like, I'm not showing that?
Yeah. It's like a diary, really. So you can record whatever you want. It's just with video. And then they edit it into storylines. So it's interesting to see your life in a story that's crafted by someone else. So it's sort of, you see yourself from someone else's perspective. And there's lots of, you can really tell a pretty interesting story with real life events, especially when we're filming really personal stuff.
Yeah.
So you let the cameras in on a bit of your relationship with Susan Sarandon. What was that like for you? Especially since we've read about you, but now you've opened the door to have people ask you questions like this.
Yeah, well, I figured why not? Like, if a little bit's out there, why not get a little bit more?
Okay.
A little bit more, maybe that's more accurate or more interesting. Anyway, it was hard. It was really tricky. All of us had relationships. Even Derek had, you know, sort of his own version of relationships.
Had something like a relationship.
But it's really hard. Relationships are hard to begin with. Right. So when you add another element to it, it's going to make it even trickier. Okay. But I was really proud of my relationship, and I thought it could be interesting to portray a little bit of it.
What'd she think of that?
And did you have to convince her to do it?
Well, everyone asked that question. Like, I mean, because that's, I guess, the first thing you would think. She had to get comfortable with the idea, and it was never something that she was entirely comfortable with. But she got to a place where she was comfortable enough where we could do it. So that was enough, I guess.
So we see that glimpse into your relationship and being a ping pong
enthusiast.
enthusiast.
Yeah.
So what do each of you all bring to the show?
Well, you know, I'm a stand-up comedian, the dreamer that moves from a small town in Lindenwold, New Jersey, to become a big stand-up comic in New York City. And when they asked me to do the interview, you caught me in the right time, because I went from couch surfer to actual working comedian. So you see the whole process of me moving out of my mom's house and becoming, you know, a man sort of in comedy. Yes. So they caught me at the right time. So that's what I offer. I'm I guess the comic relief of the show. Okay. Because, you know, my whole life is just about stand-up.
There you go.
I'm probably the opposite of you because I was like, I'm on New York City radio in the morning. And all of a sudden, bam, I got fired. I was like, oh, that just happened. Okay. And it was so funny because they're like, oh, just take the camera. And I'm like, all right. So I'm filming myself every day. And all of a sudden, it was like, I don't know what's going to happen today. And that was the first time I've ever gotten fired. And I had to document it.
Wow.
That happened. And also, it was so funny when you see the introduction, it's like Rosie Noisy, TV radio personality, 33, divorced. And for me, I was like, oh, that just came out like that. Bam, divorced. Bam, living with boyfriend. I'm like, some of my friends don't even know.
They know now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Okay.
oh.
Now that's a plot line.
And what is your plot line?
Well, so I'm a celebrity publicist, and I was living a single in the city lifestyle, and I fell in love and married a man with 4 teenagers.
Whoa.
And I went from
Yeah, you can't
single
write stuff
independent
like that.
girl to stepmom, and it just exploded all over the show.
My goodness.
Yeah.
So do you think we're going to see more of this, more of the real reality as opposed to the faux reality shows that tend to dominate television right now?
If people want it, then they'll give it to them. Because I think people are tired of what's coming. Like, everybody knows these reality shows ain't reality because we know what's going to happen. It's going to be a
Right.
fight, it's going to be a love affair,
Yeah.
or it's going to be a fight and a love affair at the same time.
Someone's going to pull someone's weave.
Right,
Put
there's
some
some
wine in
it's
their
gonna be
face.
thrown.
And it's
Right.
hard to get vested in someone's life when you realize, like, it's all the same. Like, we're not flying to the Philippines to fix the problems in I'm like, that doesn't happen in real life.
I like that.
You know,
Real
that
Housewives
sounds
of
good.
Atlanta
I know,
shit.
So I'm just saying, like, the reason why it's called Connected is because, none of us interact with each other during the filming. We never even met until, like, halfway through the process. But the reason that connects us is because of our stories. Like, people get married, people get sick, people get well. It's just, we all, as the human condition, are all connected to each other through our similar stories. You and I are
we all want to
the
get
same.
connected
Well
to
said.
this show. So tell us where and how we can watch it.
AOL.com/connected.
All right. We'll
That's
be there
easy.
watching. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thanks
Stay
for having
us.
connected. All right.
Thank you.
Good luck with everything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. You're watching Arise Entertainment 360. Stay connected here.